Right, I'd like everyone to take some deep breaths. Just do some well-being before we get started. Because I think everybody just needs to calm down. Yeah, everybody needs to just simply calm down. I know I'm quoting the Taylor Swift song, but I just feel like that right now everybody needs to calm down, especially with the way expansion has been going. So, we had always planned to do an episode where we tell you about our thoughts about how the expansion process has gone, but given how there's been so much uproar going on across the PWHL community, we can't need to do it both ways. So we'll start with our thoughts of the process, then we'll go through the furore, okay? Yeah. Let's do the nice part first, and we can do the aggressive, shouty, sweary, cursy stuff. Throw most of the tiny stuff after. There's lots of metaphors we could use for that. Right, so. How have you two found this expansion process so far? We are recording this at the end of the second phase of the process, which of course was the expansion draft, which was held on June 9th. What do you make of it? There were 2 more rounds to go of this phase. I'm fine. Yeah, I'm absolutely fine. I mean, we knew that this had to happen in order to make sure that the expansion teams can enter into the league on day 1 and not be having to play catch-up. Because if you go through the NHL's history with expansion, the expansion teams always take years and years and years to develop really competitive rosters and start playing for playoffs. No, we've not got time for that. No, we are, especially with me in my old age, I know, we've not got time for this. No, we have not got time to wait 5 years, 6 years for teams to enter the league, establish a fan base, get a core roster, and then compete. No, we have not got time for that. No. We have got to make sure that these teams are competitive from day 1. So, you and me were fine with it when the expansion process was announced from the get-go. We were fine, because we knew this has got to happen in order to make sure we can have some really competitive rosters going forward. You, on the other hand, not so much. Oh, yeah. I just remember when the expansion was first announced, and I thought, oh no, expansion draft. Yeah. Because we're going to lose really great talent. Exactly. That's fair. That is fair. I mean, all in the Inaugural Six we're going to lose star quality players, but did we expect the league to be as this competitive as it is? No. So everyone's going to lose really top-notch quality players. But I just remember that people was like, oh, I'm not ready for it. Then since we got back from Philly, you kind of mellowed and been more grown up. Yeah, I'm just more right. It's happening now. We've got the details of the format. Okay, fine. Let's just get on with it. Let's get on with it. Vancouver Seattle, we're really happy for you to come into our league. Let's just get on with it. And if they end up getting really competitive rosters at the end of the day, well, then so be it. That's the nature of the game. And of course, we're really confident that more teams are going to be coming in the next few years. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I do think multiple expansions are going to happen. It's just a case of when and where. Yeah, so don't be surprised if this time next year we're going through the exact same process again, because it might be. We'll see. Yeah, but I remember you were a bit more about it at first, because you're like, oh no, expansion draft. You didn't want to. You didn't want to think about who we were going to lose. Did you think it was going to be that bad? You thought it was? I actually thought it was going to be a lot more worse. Really? Did it? Yeah, I generally thought. I said this on the draft recap show we did. I thought we dodged a bullet because there was so much good talent we could have had taken by the expansion teams in the draft. So I generally thought it was going to be a lot worse there than it was. Maybe because Vancouver splashed out big and the decided to get Claire Thompson and Sophie Jakes. They probably thought we don't need to then make any more bliss batches. We'll just take whoever we think can work well with our roster. Yeah, because all 4 Frost players that we lost have gone to Vancouver. Seattle didn't draft a single Frost player. Yeah. So Yeah, so, and real quick, and Denise Crisello will be huge losses too, but I think Jakes and Thompson's absence will be impacted more. We'll see how that goes. Well, you actually thought it was going to be a lot more worse than you thought it was. Yeah. Yeah. But you remember, going back to April, we had no clue who was going to be up for grabs from each team. Nope. We had no clue what was going to be up on offer. Mm-hmm. And then, once the process began, you saw what some teams literally fuck it up. Yep. Literally fuck it up. It's like, wow, I feel a lot better about us. And chances are players that we might lose might not go now because there's bigger fish to fry. Literally bigger fish to fry. Yep. And Seattle Vancouver pounced. Yeah, they pounced. They went for it. They like I've got a bite! Ooh! Hillary Knight! Ooh! Alex Carpenter! See, I've got no sympathy for our family members. No sympathy. No sympathy. You made your bed, now go lie in it. We told you to protect, you didn't listen. I know, I still can't believe, can I say how awful this got? I still can't believe how many of those we got right. Because literally, we made that list while we were recording the show. Yep, it was on air, literally on air, we were making these lists for all 16s. And I was not going to lock them in until we were all happy with each of them. And then when we come back on the Tuesday, that was on the Friday. We come back on the Tuesday with the actual reveal, which we did live on air. I was like, oh! We didn't expect to get that many right. We did not. And we got all of Montreal's correct. Well, it was fairly obvious, wasn't it? Fairly obvious. You didn't even need to see the single PHL game to tell who Montreal's going to protect. Obvious. Too obvious, yep. Although, could you imagine if they had not protected Stacey? Oh! That would have been awkward, but anyway. We were so stunned by how we got. The only team we didn't get correct was Toronto. We only got one right out of Toronto. The rest, we had at least two. There was like one curveball that got thrown in. Or, in the case of ours with the Frost, it was we zigged when we should have zagged. Yeah. Which we knew could have happened. We knew could have happened. We made the reason why we went with Jake's. But obviously we just understood that it would not be surprised if the team went with Deckline. So at the end of the day, we made our call, but it was ended up being a different call, and that's fine. That's fine. At the end of the day, we've got a really good trio that we protected. Yeah. So for me, I kind of felt a bit more eased about it, because obviously I've had two expansion draft experiences with both the Knights in 2017 and the Kraken in 2021. And the Kraken, I still remember to this day, because the Kraken made a really big song and dance about this draft, despite the fact we were still in the thick of the pandemic here in the UK. Yeah. I don't know what it was like in the States, but here in the UK, we didn't really properly come out of COVID till, I'd say, the spring of 2022. Yeah. Because obviously we did have another variant that came in the Christmas of 2021, Omicron. So we in the UK didn't really come out of COVID until 2022. So this was still in the thick of the pandemic. So I was quite surprised how Seattle was something like this big song and dance. They got local celebrities to come by to announce the picks. I was like, really? You're going to make a big song and dance about this? Really? It's just an expansion draft. So yeah. So having gone through that in the NHL, it means I've got a clear idea of what to expect for the PWHL. And I was not surprised we had big names being taken left, right, and centre. Some of the worst shocks and hard draws dropped. But anyway, I was fine with it. This has to be done. For me, with the expansion draft, was the format the right format? No. And that's the only thing I'm going to agree with the uproar. It was the wrong format. But do I believe the league will learn from this, ready for the next expansion, which could be in, say, 1 year's time, 18 months' time? Yes! Because this league is all about learning from its mistakes. You saw that with the teenagers. When that leak happened in September 2023, it was all crap names. And everybody, including us three, were like, no, we're not having that. Well, the league went back to the drawing board and went, right, okay, let's work on names that the fans will love. And look what we got. 6 amazing brands. An outstanding launch that day. Yeah. Which saw us record the biggest show you've ever made on GJH Sound Storage. Yeah, it's about 2.5 hours long. Probably one of the most longest pieces of content I've done for my channel. It's not the longest piece ever, because there are some Triple episodes that were proper lengthy that have gone further than that. So, but in terms of videos, that's one of the longest one I've ever made. We go all the way back to my Tumblr days. That's the biggest one I've ever made. Yeah, we had fun doing that one. Yeah. So for me, I just felt the format was the wrong format. I knew it was gonna end in tears. We got announced when we came back from Philly. Yeah. We had to do an episode on that when we talked through how the process was gonna work. We did mention how the rules got format was announced on the day we came back from Philly. It was the first thing I saw after my quick power nap because I was heading out to Kylie. So I thought, right, I'm gonna read that Kylie. So we get to Kylie. We're not see the AO. We've got a lot of forties on the stage. I'm on my phone. I'm trying to read this through. And I'm like, I can't make heads or tails of this whatsoever. And then as you come over, I was not at Kylie. No, it was because we were taking Sutton. Yes, you were taking Sutton. So I didn't go to Kylie. I stayed at home. So I got more sleep than these two did. Well, one of us had to be fresh for the World Cup finals. Yeah. So me and him come in and thought, right, when we get back here, let's go and see Lady can figure out. And I did. She did. She simplified it for us. Yeah, we can only protect three players. And Vancouver Seattle are allowed to take 7 players to the draft. But at the time, it felt really confusing. And I was like, I don't get it. I honestly, I don't get it. I honestly don't. But as we got nearer and nearer to the start of the process, it then made more sense to me. I was like, yeah, okay, I can see that. Once we was in action, I was like, yeah, now I got it. But I think it was really interesting how this draft format, it wasn't like the AHL where you have to take X number of forwards, X number of defenders, and at least 1 netminder. It wasn't like that. It was basically Seattle Vancouver could literally take whoever they wanted to take. But the only caveat is that once Inaugural Six US lost 4 players, that's it. You can't go for any more players on that team. So there might have been some interesting stuff that could have gone in the expansion draft, but couldn't go because that team's already maxed out the 4 players they can lose. Yeah. So I think with the format, it was not great, and there definitely were some things that need to be fine-tuned, like how many players you can protect. We think 5 to 6 should be a good option. Yeah, at least I think 3 was never going to be enough. No, so especially like when you've got a deep roster like we had, no way we're going to protect everybody we want to protect. So I would say start 5, and then the extra slot can be for 6. Yeah. So you would keep the rule of once the team's lost X number of players, you can have an extra pick. Yeah. Okay. I'd be for that. So have 5 to start with, and then once you've lost, say, 2 players, that's it. You get an extra pick, and you get to make that move. Yeah. Before that. Is there any other suggestions you want to make for the next expansion draft? A shorter exclusive sign window. Now, I do know the players did want that. They did advocate for that. They wanted, the players wanted that. But I don't think it needs to be as long as it was, because I mean, did anyone really think it was going on that quick? I know, right? We covered it very briefly on the expansion draft recap show, and we were very surprised how literally the window had barely opened, and already Vancouver not only inked their first 2 players, but activated some of these 4 protection slots. And it was us. It was us. It barely got into the late hours of Wednesday night. It's like, oh my god, no! Have you seen this? Have you seen it? Not both of them? Not both! Yeah, because I thought we were going to lose Claire Thompson. What was about Simi taking her as well? I was like, what are you mad? So it's like, ooh, we're going to get that 4 protection slot too. But we wasted it. I know, we wasted it. Wasted it. But I don't think any of us were expecting this clear somewhere to go that quick. It was done by Friday. It was done by Friday. Yeah. So I think, yeah, I'd go put a shorter sign window, but I would also go for a minimum. You would, yeah, because obviously in this one there's no minimum. You can only talk to 5 players, but I think you should have a minimum of 3 signed, and then up to a maximum of 5. And then it gives you the option to, if you want to but you'll start with size for the draft, fine, but if not. Yeah, because you remember, if one team had fewer signings going into the expansion draft, they would be getting more picks. So, same example. If Vancouver had 5 signings and Seattle had 4, then Seattle would have got 1 extra pick to get Seattle to the 12 roster they had to have by the end of the expansion draft. Yeah, that would have been a lot. Yeah, so yeah, I'd be fine with that. Yeah, I would prefer that. Yeah, so have a minimum number that you need to have. And then if you still don't reach the maximum, but you can have more picks in the draft, but it just felt a bit like ridiculous because you just knew that the teams were gonna hit 5 at this rate. It was just so quick. It just went quick. And it was like shock after shock after shock after shock after shock. Yeah, but that just shows how some teams did not handle it well. So this is this is why I don't get the furore. Because you knew this was coming. You knew it was coming. We know about the possibility of expansion since October. Since the month before the season started. Because you remember back in October, like literally a month before the season started, the PHL said, right, we want to look at one day doing an outdoor game, we want to look at one day moving into European games, we want to have expansion by 2026. And I was like, whoa, slow down. Slow down. We've only just got team names and brands. Slow down. And it was, right, you two, upstairs, we're doing an episode now. Yeah. I believe it's called Walk Before You Can Run, so you will go check that out. We did that literally on the day that was dropped. So it's not like people didn't know expansion was on the horizon, because it was. Yeah. And a lot of fans were asking for it during year 1. We were. Because I said last year I thought, well, expansion might be 5 years away. Maybe possibly no later than 7. Not going to year 3. Yeah. So, for those of you who last year who were on YouTube chart say, I think a team should go to Chicago, I think a team should go to Seattle, I think a team should go to Pittsburgh. Well, be careful what you wish for. Yeah. Because we are getting expansion, but it's not gone down the way you want it. Yeah. What do you expect the league to do? Yeah. Okay. This is the most, in fact, this is the super competitive league in the whole sport. The parity is off the chain. It's top to bottom. So in order to keep that parity going forward to add new teams in, you have to make sure that those new teams can be competitive from day 1. I did have to say we won Vancouver now. We wanted to play from day 1. So you knew it was going to come. Expansion draft. You just had the feeling they were going to make it really good. Not that good. Too good. Yeah. But it's like, oh, the furore that was going on various socials, where like people like, oh, I think it's too unfair that we have to lose this number of players. It's not fair we're losing so and so. Oh my god, it made it so competitive for Vancouver and Seattle. Oh my god, Seattle and Vancouver are going to win the World Cup. It's like, oh, for God, I'm not interested. I'm generally not interested. I'm not interested. I'm really not. And you know what? I can't be bothered. And even I got involved into a fight. You did. Even I got dragged into a fight on social because I replied to a journalist's post about. I'm gonna bring it up on my phone. I'm not gonna read word for word because I'm not giving that keyboard warrior airtime on my show. I'm just gonna make it point. Even I got dragged into a fight on it, and I'm the advocate. Yeah, I'm the advocate who's literally singing the league's praises. Don't drag me into a fight unless I've said something stupid. You say something stupid on social media? No. You're always so careful. Yes, because I make sure that I don't let people who I don't want to reply. So, yeah. So, it was a journalist who posted an article about, saying that, you had the second pick go, third pick go, fifth pick go, sixth pick go, 12th pick go in last year's entry draft, and saying how the league got this very wrong. I then replied by saying, I believe the league will learn, as I believe there will be multiple expansions, as I think we can at the very least get to 12 teams. But all the blame can't be put on the format, as some teams didn't handle it very well, such as Boston, Toronto, and of course, New York. Yeah, because New York did not protect Alex Carl's career shoulder. And what happened? They went! And we behaved like the witches from Macbeth on that night. Yeah, when those two aside set up, we just were like, we were like the cackling witches from Macbeth. And the only Shakespeare play he knows about is Romeo and Juliet. Well, yeah, because obviously, well, in my high school, you had to do Romeo and Juliet for GCSE English. Yeah. In my high school, for GCSE English, you have to do Romeo and Juliet. So you'd have to do a control assessments on Romeo and Juliet as part of the coursework to count for a percentage of your overall grade. And then I had to watch various films, like the one with Leonardo DiCaprio, and also Shakespeare in Love, despite having lots of sex scenes. I know. I remember we had to literally be told, right, you got to hire when the sex scenes come on. And then 2 years ago, when we were flying to Saturday, Shakespeare in Love was one of the films I could watch. I thought, right, I'm in my mid-20s now. I think I'm old enough now to watch some sex scenes. Gay or straight, I don't mind. Let's see what was about. And oh my god, were there lots of sex scenes! There were a lot of sex scenes in that film. I was like, oh dear! And they did the noises as well. I was like, oh god, I don't like the sex noises. Oh my god. It's like, and you watched that in school. It was year 10. It was year 10. It was Jesus. It was year 10. It was year 10. What's the most another one that you had these? Oh, the island! The island! Yes! Year 10 biology. We watched this film with Ewan McGregor. It's called The Island, about cloning. And me and Plur found it on Netflix a couple of years ago, right? And oh my god, there's a sex scene in it! I don't recall these bits! Oh! So yeah, so we got away in my school days, and I don't remember fondly, but we got away with watching a lot of mucky films in year 10. And yet, for the biology exam, there was no questions on cloning. So it's like, what did we watch that for? Honestly, anyway. But the only Shakespeare I know is Romeo and Juliet. That's because obviously we did it at school. But obviously I do know that some other references, like obviously the witches from Macbeth. So that was my reply. So then some idiot decided to then reply to that and basically tried to paint it out as if, oh well, I'm defending the league and I think the former was right on there. Not at all. They didn't even mention anything about that. And be like how, and it was also going like how, getting attached to players. I didn't mention anything about being attached to players. No two hockey rosters say the same in 2 seasons. I'm sorry, that's how it works. Alright? So then I fired back, stupidly fired back, but I'm not having this. I'm firing back. Oh dear, I got into a war. So I fired back by saying, I'm here for the love of the game and my team. No matter who's on it, and right now, the PWHL is in the growing phase, and multiple expansions will happen. Yes, I'm sad to lose talent, but I'm prepared to pay that for a growing competitive league that I love, no matter what anyone says. Did the knob reply back? Lady! The dickhead did reply back, yes, but it was more of a grovelling apology reply. Because he basically then replied by saying, it's like, oh, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just, it's just, he's just saying how they went too far that. It's like, okay, yeah, fine. It did go a bit too far. But at the same time, if teams like New York are going to put competent Queen Shirt on the block, or Boston's going to make Harry Knight available, or Troy's going to make Sarah Nurse up for grabs, then what do you expect Seattle Bellcoats to do? Pass on them? No! They're going to nab them! This is why we said we gave Lady grief about wanting to put Amalene SBL on the block. Which I regret now, because it does look like she's on the rumours for free agency. Yeah! So it's like, seriously, yeah. So that was sort of that was kind of a grovelling apology, and kind of really from there. And then I then replied back myself apology, one more reply. And it hasn't been updated since. I think it's now been all well ends well. Is that also Shakespeare? Yeah, thank God. Not sure which one it is. I think that might be Hamlet. I'm not too sure. So I replied by saying, mistakes were definitely made, but not just by the league, but also the teams involved. Given how players like Harry Knight, Alex Carpenter and Sarah Nurse not being protected. I do, however, have high hope lessons will be learned because the next time will be sooner than later. Yeah, because it will, before we know it. You know, could be next year, could be the year after. What would you prefer? Summer 2027 next expansion base. Yeah. But we'll see. It all depends on how well Seattle Vancouver have integrated and how well can the league support two more teams come in. Yeah, it all depends. Yeah. But I was like, oh my god, I can't believe I've been dragged into that. I know full well, do not reply to that. It's a keyboard warrior, it's a troll. They're just filling in their lonely time because they're bored, because they've got nothing to do, they've got no friends, they've got no sex buddies. Sex buddies! That's not the term. Oh no, sorry, it's fuck buddies. I was trying to be clean. How's that clean? You know what I mean? 99% of these keyboarders have got nothing to do. They're literally sat in their rooms all day, doing nothing. Getting wasted, alright? So I can't believe I got dragged to that, but I thought, you know what? No, I'm not having it. I am absolutely not having it, okay? If you want to call me out on something I've said something stupid, fine. But don't call me out on something when I'm having my say. Okay? All I was doing was having my say. Okay, I was having my say, as is in my Universal Declaration of Human Rights, which he has got a copy of, boys and girls. Yep, I have a copy of it stored on my laptop, so I could basically just throw out the Declaration of Human Rights to people. I got it for Brexit, because in this country, Brexiteers just don't want to listen to people like me who are Remainers. They don't want to hear it. So I thought, right, I'm not putting up with this. If we're going to have discussion about Brexit, and I feel I should have the right to make sure that my thoughts and expressions are heard, no matter what Brexiteers say. Okay? So I got it for Brexit. But interestingly, since we actually left the EU, we've not even had to throw that card out, because nobody wants to talk Brexit. Yeah. Nobody wants to talk Brexit today, but actually, it's probably good. Okay? But that's why I got it. So I thought, you know what? No. It refers to this. I'm having my say. It's in the Universal Declaration of Rights. I'm entitled to have my say. I'm entitled to do my thoughts, expression and freedom. Okay, that's in my rights. I did not mention anything about getting attached to players. But eventually, we were able to kiss and make up. Yeah. But I thought, nah, I'm not having that. I am an advocate of this league. Okay, so if I feel I need to go and defend it, I'll do it. Okay, but luckily, I managed to defuse the situation before it got even worse. It could have, but I managed to defuse it before it got any worse than it needed to get. Good on you. Good on you. But I'm not having that. I'm not having that. I'm not having anybody derail me in my hard work to get this league awareness out there. Not having that. But people still haven't calmed down. And we are recording this literally 4 days after the expansion draft. And more than a week on now since the actual process began. Yeah. So it's like, seriously, guys, just calm down. We are still months away from year 3. Because chances are the puck's not going to go drop until November. Alright? Seriously. Lady, I'm going to let you take this. Because you did brilliantly. Do it. Yeah. We are not going to know how well both PWHL Vancouver and PWHL Seattle are going to do until we actually see some games. Mm-hmm. I mean, yes, on paper, their rosters are scary good, but we're not going to know how competitive they're going to be until we get to day 1 of year 3 in November. So seriously, everyone calm the fuck down. Right. Seriously, we are hockey fans. We're supposed to be the grown-ups. Yes, we're supposed to be nice to one another, unlike baseball fans. And yes, Citizens Bank Park, that was a dig! That was a dig! That was a dig. Can I ask you something? do you regret watching the Super Bowl back in February? Yep. I do. Fanatic made me watch it. But it's all Fanatics' fault. He made me watch that, and ITB. They kept promoting it every day. Every single ad break I was watching Tipping Point. Anywho. Yeah, but Archibald, we're supposed to be the grown-ups. We're supposed to be level-headed. We're supposed to be cool and collected. We're supposed to be calm. Not be all shouty, sorry, scream me. You know? It just, yeah, it's like, yeah, I mean... Because we don't know what Seattle Vancouver are going to be like until we actually get to see some games. We're not going to know! We're not going to know! You know? So we've got the edge draft coming up. We don't know how our teams are going to do in that, you know? So, seriously, I just think it's just gone too far. The reaction has been too far. It's been too loud. It's been too raucous. And I just feel like everybody just needs, in the words of Taylor Swift, you need to calm down. Because summer's only just begun. And oh boy, is it going to be another hot and lengthy one. Okay. We're not going to know until we get to puck drop on year 3 how Vancouver and Seattle are going to do. Okay. As we know in the PWHL, teams can actually have really great starts and then end up being out of the playoffs like we saw with New York this year. I mean, because obviously the Sirens had a great start to the year this year. They were up there with the Charge and us and Victoire in contention for a top 4 spot. Then, in the second half of the season, they had a 9-game losing skid, and that basically derailed them, and ended up coming last again and winning the gold plan. Or also look at Toronto this year. They were in the basement, and they were in that basement for a very long time. But there was Natty Spirital came back from injury, they turned a corner, they got second place. How I managed the playoffs again, and so yeah. Exactly. But it's like, seriously, just take a moment to breathe, because otherwise you're going to do yourself an injury before we even get to year 3, alright? Just, please, just stay, just, for the next how many months it is, just please, take some time to just breathe and just process it, okay? Stop worrying about if Seattle Vancouver are going to be competitive, because we're not going to know that until they play their very first couple of games. We're not going to know that. Right, so please, guys, use this summer to just take a breath, take some time to yourselves, breathe, process it, alright? And just look ahead for what's going to be a really great year 3, okay? So, yeah. Oh my god. But yeah. But no, but for me, personally, I can see, you know, the way ahead. You know, I just see positives going forward. What's really interesting for you is you're the kind of guy with this has been like, well, I can understand the short-term pains because I can see the long-term gains. Yep. I don't think I've ever been that guy before. Yeah. Because, you know, at the end of the day, this league is only going to grow. Yeah. We'll be at 12 teams before you know it, and then after that, who knows where we'll go. Yeah. But we are literally growing our footprint across all corners of North America. Yeah. And we're hoping next year to grow our footprint in Europe. Yeah. Okay. So I can see a lot of long-term gains to be happening on expansion. It could even maybe get a US TV deal for all we know. Yeah. But there are lots of possibilities over expanding Seattle, Vancouver. Okay. So if that means that we had to lose really good star quality players in order for Seattle, Vancouver to be competitive on day 1 and keep up with the rest of the pack on day 1, then fine. I'm happy to pay that price. I'm happy to pay that price. But I actually started preparing myself for Claire Thompson to go, so that was a big loss. But Sophie Jackson wasn't prepared for. Yeah. So, yeah. But no. But did the league get this format right? No. Is this league prepared to learn from it? Yes. Okay. I don't believe this one will come back for the next expansion round. I don't. I do not. No, I don't. I don't believe that for 1 second. Because I feel that people have just been overreacting, and you just need to take a step back, process, calm down, go hydrate, which we're going to do in a moment. Hydrate, you know, and just make the most of what is going to be a restful summer. Because once we get going again, it's going to be just focus for the season. Yeah. So just take a moment to breathe. Okay. You know, That's the one piece of advice I can give you guys summer. Just make sure to hydrate and breathe, because you're going to do yourself an injury. It's not worth thinking about. Okay? Because this battle draft, it's been done. June and Ive has come and gone. Yeah, it's done. It's happened now. Okay? Nothing more you can do, alright? So just remember what you got left, what you got still in your rosters. I just look forward to what's going to be a really competitive summer ahead. We can't wait for schedules to be released. Yeah, we can't wait for that. Yeah. So, yeah. So just think about the nice things that are coming. Just don't, But the reaction's been overwhelming. It's been too much. It's been very loud. It's been very raucous. It has times gone a bit too far. So just everybody needs to just calm down. Okay, because and get used to it, because there's going to be multiple expansions coming in the next few years, because we're at the very least we are going to hit 12 sooner rather than later. After that, who knows? So over these next couple of years, these next 5 to 6 years, there's going to be more expansions, and these expansion teams will need to go for expansion drafts to make sure they've got a good chance of a good starting foundations when they begin play. So what I'm trying to say to you guys is, get used to this process now, okay? Because it's going to happen again and again and again and again. You need to get used to it now rather than later, okay? But honestly, guys, just take... I feel like I need to be everyone's calming spiritual guide right now. Well, you do make your mental welfare a priority. You don't like it when you've been putting yourself into positions that compromised it, like the Philly trip. Yeah, but I feel like I need to have a spiritual guide. Just take a breath, get hydrated, do some wellness exercises. Just look after yourselves. Just look after yourselves. Okay? Because the next expansion is going to be here before you know it, okay? So just look after yourselves, guys. Just do that as a favour for me over the summer. Just take care of yourselves, alright? Because, yeah, we're always going to do our thoughts on the expansion process. But after seeing that for all, it needs to be, we also just make sure we be sure it will well, because it's going to be okay. Just, please, take some time to yourselves, guys, this summer. Breathe, hydrate, and just look forward to what's going to be a really great year 3. And we will speak to you guys again real soon.